Hello, 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 everyone. Hope you are having a great day, a great week so far. Hope things are just going well and just fine and dandy all in your lives and stuff. I just hope everybody's having a good time. This week has been quite interesting for me to say the least. It's just been a lot going on. I've just been ripping and running a bit too much. But anyway, I know I need to slow down. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and get started. So you guys, I won't keep you on too long tonight. But today, let me go ahead and introduce myself. Hi, I am Javita, and I help single moms go from feeling powerless and fearful to having a plan to build and cultivate the network of resources that she needs. So she can just continue to live in abundance and live lots of love and happiness. I just that's just what I do. I have a passion for helping women just walk in their greatness, just walk in their, true self, just believing in themselves. So today's topic is know your worth and stop settling. All too often we tend to say we know our worth and all of that. And, I asked the question, do you know your worth? Do you really know your worth? And some of you may say, yes, Javita, I know my worth. I sure do. And I know I deserve this, I deserve that. But my question to you again is, are you walking in your purpose? Are you portraying the fact that you do know your worth? And I don't think a lot of us are. We say that, yes, I know my worth, but we're not truly, our actions show otherwise. Our actions are showing totally different. How can you say that you know your worth when you're doing stuff that's totally opposite of what you're worthy of? So let me give you, before I give you an example, this question, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, it may be a little bit, something is in my eye, y'all. But anyway, it may be a little bit difficult to answer that question when you're not clear, when you don't have clarity on what it is that you want to do, when you're unsure about the steps that you want to take or that you need to take. So it's kind of hard sometimes to answer that question. And I know some of us like to say it's easy, but I have to disagree. It's not easy at all, because if you're not clear about what it is you want to do, then you clearly ain't gonna know your worth, and you're just gonna sit there and you're just gonna settle for whatever that comes your way because you don't know your worth. So the example I have for you, like, so for instance, people in relationships, sometimes we don't know our worth. Sometimes we stay in these relationships knowing that we deserve better, but our actions by staying in it shows that we really don't know our worth. So because we stay in it because, one, we're afraid. We're afraid of actually leaving the relationship. Some people would say that they're afraid they will never find anybody else, but I disagree. I think you will find somebody else once you just let go of the toxic stuff that's in your life. Because you just settle, and just, I don't even know how to put the word settling to you guys right now, because it's just one of those things that we hate to say that we do, but we actually do. We settle, we become complacent. And when you settle and become complacent, you kind of don't know your worth, because but you're not walking in that true purpose. You don't even realize that you want a relationship that has more than what you're getting right now. You deserve to be treated a certain way, but you settle for the way that you are being treated for the sake of not wanting to be alone. And a lot of us do that, both men and women. I've talked to many people on both sides of the sexes, and they all say almost the same thing. They stay in these things for different reasons, various reasons, and they shouldn't have to. Because it's going to show, it's written, and then you're not walking in your purpose. You're not walking in your truth. You're not being your true, authentic self. So how can you say you know your purpose, you know your worth? You can't, because you're settling, in my opinion. So all too often, we tend to settle for something instead of truly waiting truly waiting to get what exactly what it is that we want and deserve. I use relationships as an example because that's where we see that not knowing your worth a lot. We see that in various relationships, not only romantic relationships. We see that in friendships. We see that in our relationships with our coworkers. We see that in relationships with our friends. We see that relationship with business partners. We see that in relationship with ourselves. You know, we kind of just, we're so impatient and we don't want to wait on what we all deserve. We just don't want to do that. So, and the reason why we wait is because we're afraid. We are afraid to to step out there, to go out there and just do what it is that we know we want to do and deserve to do, and that's going to make us happy. We're afraid because we don't know what may happen. If you're anything like me, you might be afraid to step out because you just don't know what the end result is going to be. You don't know how it's going to work out. And because you can't see the big picture, you just won't step out. And I'm here to tell you that you should step out. Sometimes when you have that feeling, that's like you're moving in the right direction. So, so just continue to go, because like, once you know and believe that you're worthy of something, you're going to work towards it. You're going to have you're going to take different goals to get there. You're just going to do a whole lot more than just staying stagnant and complacent and comfortable. You know, you got to get uncomfortable sometimes. And like I said, you do have to have patience. So, in like business relationships, we don't feel as though we can start our own businesses because we fear that we don't have the know-how to do it. But what's a little research? You can research a lot of stuff, you guys, and you can start your own business. You can do it. It's just something that you have to want to do it. And knowing your worth, when you really truly know your worth, then you will really truly like work at getting everything that you deserve, everything that you want, and you won't settle for less. You won't have time to settle for less because you know you're living like on this higher scale. So just you have to know your worth. And you have to start settling for things. So knowing your worth, and I'm looking at some notes, you guys. So knowing your worth means that you know your value and that you know that you are an equal opportunity person in your life. Like you don't like discriminate against any opportunity. You are an equal opportunity person in your life. You have control in your own life. You basically know what it is you have to offer, and you know that's extremely valued. Shoot, people just like really want to be in your presence, and you don't even realize how that impacts others. So you just have to really, 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 really know your worth, because in any relationship or friendship you want to build and cultivate, you have to know what you have to offer. You have to know that, and you have to believe it, and you have to stand in your truth. Because if you don't do that, then you'll settle. You'll settle for anything. I know I've settled before. I can give you an example like today at work. I do a lot of testing on things, and I wasn't comfortable, let's say that. I wasn't as comfortable or confident in what I was doing, so I kept going to ask questions. And once I asked a few questions, I realized that I already had the know-how to do everything that I needed to do, and I really didn't need to ask anybody else. And as a matter of fact, I kind of taught them some things today that they didn't know, because you just don't know what you don't know, and if you don't try. But had I not tried, I would have settled for being that person who just didn't know anything at all and just continue to think that way. So that's what I'm saying, you know, by how we settle and what we know we were, because I know what I have to offer, but at the same token, I doubt. I have doubt sometimes. And when that doubt comes into play, then you kind of devalue yourself, and you don't want to do that. So again, you know, I know there are some other times where I wasn't living up to my full potential. And like I said, I knew I had a lot to offer. However, I wouldn't take that step. I wouldn't take that leap because I didn't know what the end game was going to be. I was afraid of the possibility that it may be good, it may not be good. So, you know, you have to really think about it. And once I really sat there and thought about it for a while, I'm like, girl, why are you tripping? You know you got this. You know you can do this. You can do anything that you want to do. And that's one thing we have to do to continue to know that we are worthy. We have to tell ourselves that we are worthy. We're constantly worthy. We have a lot to offer. So you have to remind yourself of that. A lot of times, especially when you start doubting your self-worth. You know, I didn't realize that I added value to like people's lives. I ran away from that. I hated, you know, being around people. I did. I didn't really like being around people. I was not a people's person at all. And I hated that, you know, it seemed to me, and this is what I was telling myself because I was doubting, you know, my capabilities. But to me, I felt as though I was giving too much of myself, when in actuality, I really wasn't giving that much of myself. But people are like dying. Well, not dying. I'm just playing about that. But people really want to be in my presence. And I didn't realize how much of an impact that I had on others' lives until they actually sat down and told me. And when I stopped doing certain things, they were like, why are you not doing this no more? You know, I learn a lot from you. You speak so much wisdom. I've heard it all, and I'm like, are you getting wisdom from me? I don't know about that. But that's me doubting myself and not knowing my worth. But once I came to it and knew exactly what I had to offer and knew that people just love being around me, for me just being me, oh, a whole world opened up for me. And I just started walking more and more in my purpose, like what I am on earth to do. And when you feel like you're running away from things, that means you're settling for what you have and where you are. When you just need to grow, just open up and just do it. Don't worry about the outcome. Just do it, especially if you know you feel it in your heart of hearts, to just do it. So, but you know, I started hanging around people more. I started becoming more social. But however, you know, I do love my alone time. I love being by myself. But I was no longer that loner that I thought I was. And I always thought I was a loner. But I'm not a loner. But that's just me doubting the reason why people would want to be around me. And I lived like that for a while. I just wanted to be around my family, and that was it. You know, didn't want to open it up to anybody else because, you know, don't trust people too much. But anyway, that's kind of, you know, how I discovered, you know, knowing my self-worth and walking in it, and I stopped settling because I don't like to settle. I really don't. But I gave it a chance. I took what was uncomfortable and went with it, and it actually worked. I mean, people just love being around Javita. I don't know why I just have that. I don't know. Have that touch. But anyway, here are a few tips to help you to stop settling, because you know that you're worthy. You know that you deserve more. You know that people want to be around you. You know you have a lot to offer. You know this. And what I need you to do in order to stop settling for what you currently have is believe and know that you're valuable. That's the first thing you must do. Believe and know that you are valuable and that you have a lot to offer somebody. You may not have the same thing that somebody else has, but you have a lot to offer somebody. So that's number one. That's one of the main things. Believe and know that you're valuable. Number two, step outside of your box and challenge yourself. You don't know what you don't know until you try. You know, you just don't know what you don't know until you try. And when you're stepping outside, you have to be mindful. You really, really have to be mindful of, you know, when you step out the box and stuff. And when you open up, you have to just feel that energy, you know, with who you open up with and all of that. But know that you're valuable, because once you know that you're valuable, that means you know your worth and you ain't settling for nothing else. And you're just going to pick up on who's good for you and who ain't good for you. You're just going to pick up on that immediately, and you're going to work with it and move, like tell them deuces, you know, bye. So that's number two. Step outside of your box and challenge yourself. Do something you've never done before and see how it makes you feel. You know, failure is one thing that we should do. We should be kind of proud of failure, because you learn from those mistakes. You learn from failure all day long. If you have never failed, then you have learned nothing. Third thing and final thing is to exercise patience in everything. Patience, patience, patience. And these are tips that I use in my life, so hopefully it'll help you. But exercise patience in everything. Stop trying to get microwave results. when you really need to wait for your results to come out, that slow cooker. You need to put it in the crock pot, let it cook for a while, because that might be the best result that you'll get. But if you pop that thing in that microwave, it's not going to be the best, and you're going to be settling. And you're worth so much more. So those are the 3 things. I'll recap it for you. Believe and know that you're valuable. Step outside of the box and challenge yourself. And exercise patience in everything. You don't want a microwave life. You want a life that slowly cooks to perfection, which we probably won't ever get to perfection, but you get close enough to it. All right? So thank you guys for joining me this week on Wind Down Wednesdays with Jovita. Again, the topic is Know Your Worth and Stop Settling. I thank you kindly. If any of you will be in the Richmond area, June 30th, come stop by. I'm going to post it in here. But we're doing any women, ladies, calling all ladies to the floor. If you're going to be in the Richmond area, June 30th, I am being featured with the speaker MC. And its topic is called Champagne and Chocolate Conversation. That's basically what we're going to be talking about. It's in a small, intimate setting. I will post the information here, but I would love to see your faces. June 30th, mark your calendars, spread the word. Your girl will be there, smiling and ready to have fun and have great conversations with chocolate and champagne. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on all social media outlets at Jovita N. Miller. My blog is on JovitaNMiller.com. You can follow me there as well. And if you would like to know how I could help you go from feeling powerless and fearful to just building and cultivate your resources so that you can just have a stronger network and a stronger net worth, then feel free to schedule a consultation with me. It's private and confidential, and that is at www.chatwithjovita.info. That is www.chatwithjovita.info. All right. Thank you. See you next week for Wind Down Wednesdays. Love you guys. Bye.